to the inaugural episode of your average adventuring show, also known as YAAS. I'm Sarah, the DM of this spectacular, and I'd like to give a little introductory info before we begin. We are recording this game, then uploading it to YouTube for a couple of reasons. Reason 1, technology. I don't want to deal with integration and all that goes into live streaming. I am an old. 2, comfort. By recording the game and uploading it later, we have more control over what appears on the internet. Everyone involved in the stream is a member of one or more marginalized groups, so we take our privacy and safety very seriously. Speaking of those involved, we represent a wide variety of gender, romantic, and sexual orientations. You can see the intersectional pride flag behind me that pretty much represents the beliefs of this group: progressive, compassionate, cooperative. This will be reflected in the world and in the gameplay. We also acknowledge that most of the people involved in this stream are white. This is a failing of no one's but my own, as when I reached out to the folks about appearing in this show, I reached out to people in my immediate gaming friend group, which is admittedly very white. We hope to have many people playing in this game at various times, so we will actively try to improve the racial representation of those on stream. Before this game that we are broadcasting now, we completed several sessions 0, and players completed a consent in gaming checklist. We have safety tools in effect. Anyone can call a pause or stop and play at any time for any reason. The emotional, physical, and mental wellness of the players and DM are of utmost importance. If a pause in gameplay occurs or a particular narrative sequence is edited out, I will acknowledge such while editing, provide a little context, and the video will continue. We are playing at home. Expect pets, partners, roommates, and children to be occasional guests on screen. This is both the joy and burden of remote playing. No one has to wear pants if they don't want to, but life continues around us. Now we'll move on to the player and character introductions. I've already mentioned that my name is Sarah and I'm the DM. I use she, her pronouns, and the NPCs I play will use a variety of pronouns. Our players will introduce themselves, give their pronouns, then give a brief intro to their characters: name, pronoun, race and class, and a small little tidbit about themselves. Welcome to YAAS, and let's start adventuring. All right, who wants to go with introducing themselves first? Annika,
I was about to say I'll go since I unmuted first.
Yes, that's what happens. If you unmute, you're going.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm Annika. I use I use they, them pronouns. I play Aster Dauntless, a non-binary Eldarin elf. So they use they, them as well. They are a bard as well. Yeah.
Can you give us a quick little tidbit? Just like one
about
little...
me or the character?
About the character.
Oh, yes. So, and Aster is a drag queen who performs at a cafe.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, who wants to go next? Ari, I'm sure, is dealing with her rabbit, so...
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tanya, she, her pronouns, and I will be playing the character of Fenlin Swifthoof. Fenlin is a forest elf who was raised by minotaurs, and she is a fighter, a very young fighter. She's only 19, and she's kind of just new in the world.
And she uses she, her pronouns?
She, her. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, we got Amelie, Alyssa, and Ari. Who wants to? Ari, okay.
Hey, I'll go. I'm Ari. I'm playing Whistler, who is a Kenku paladin. Really looking forward to just parroting literally everything that these guys say, and I apologize for my absolute accent failure ahead of time. I use she, her pronouns. Yeah, and I'm really excited.
And Whistler's pronouns?
Oh, Whistler, she, her as well.
Okay, all right. Okay, next person up, introduction time. It's just whoever unmutes first. It's going to be, okay, Amelie.
I'll go.
Okay.
Hi, I am Amelie. I use they and them pronouns. I will be playing Jakad, who is a half orc, half human. She does use she, her pronouns, and she's a fighter who comes from a mercantile background.
All right, and then we've got our last but not least, our Tabaxi.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. Shoot. Okay. Good stuff. I use she, her pronouns. My character is a Tabaxi paladin named Ostet Ra. She isn't from Rendenhurst, but has come here looking for medicine to take back to help cure a plague in her town.
All right, excellent. And now I'm going to read an intro statement to all of you, aka welcome to Rendenhurst. All right. Whew, here we go. Rendenhurst, which you all see on Roll20, is a bustling and busy town, and it is where the beginning of our adventure begins. It is home to the Emerald Protectors and to the Nature Walkers Lodge, and the town thrives on the bounty. I have terrible handwriting, and I can't read my own handwriting. The bounty of the Weald to the north, the Castor River to the east, on which Rendenhurst is a major port, and the rice fields to the south, and the cattle and other livestock ranches far to the west. The Evermoon is high in the sky, not full, just past half. The storm moon. It is a bright light, allowing for ease of sight, even so close to midnight. The storm moon, Melora's moon, hangs nearby the Evermoon, and if the temperature and mugginess were not clues as to the season, seeing the moon of summer gleaming a lovely jade hue in the sky leaves no questions. If you are so inclined, you can spot some of the summer constellations in the sky. The serpent, the trout, the rabbit. A light breeze blows off the Castor River, offering a bit of respite for the summer heat. Birds and beasts are hunting, frolicking, and resting in the Emerald Weald, much like the townsfolk of Rendenhurst. What are you all doing? It is very dark out. It is evening. It is probably about 9 or 10 o'clock on a Friday evening. What are you doing in the town of Rendenhurst? Whoever would like to talk can go.
I'm going to assume that Jack has dragged me to Cream again.
And just for those of you who are watching, Cream is I'm actually going to share, I'll just share my image real quick, present, so people will know what we're talking about, present now, and I'm going to show you the, it's a Chrome tab, yes. I will show you the map to Rendenhurst. Here is the map to Rendenhurst. This right here is Cream, which is a LGBTQ plus cafe. We made it a cafe so that people of all ages can attend, and this is the place where Aster does their performing. So here is the lovely map of Rendenhurst. So if when you hear Finland talk about going to Cream or going to see a show, it is done here. This is the Emerald Protectors. This is the firehouse that Finland volunteers at. This is the temple to the Raven Queen that Whistler is a member of. Here we have a temple of Melora. Let's see. We have one player who isn't with us tonight, but this will be where they live. It is an art collective. And let's see, number 4, this is the Nature Walkers Guild, which is in fact what is essentially a college for druids and rangers. Here's the Castor River. It's got some ships, boats on it. There is our lovely town of Rendenhurst. Oh, number 2, this is the Temple of Pelor. So we've got 3 major temples in town: Pelor, the Raven Queen, and Melora. All right, I'm going to stop presenting now. So, all right. So, Finland, you believe you are at a show?
Yes.
There you go.
I was going to say, yes, Finland and I have, I just arrived in town today. I have been out. I have come from my tribe. I am originally from my mother's orc tribe. And so but I'm very used to Rendenhurst because my mom's a merchant there. She's a textile merchant. And so I grew up traveling all around. I'm very familiar with Rendenhurst. And Finland and Finland's like, hey, I want to go out with you tonight since you're in town. And so we're headed over to Cream.
All right. Aster, are you performing tonight?
I'll say sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, Jakad and Finland are going to Cream. The show hasn't quite started yet. It is a drag show. It's going to start around 10 o'clock. That's just how drag shows do. And Aster, are you performing or are you emceeing?
I'd go with performing, most likely.
Okay, fantastic. Is anybody else going to the show, or where are Whistler and Bastet at this evening?
Whistler's probably doing her thing at the Temple of the Raven Queen, but yeah, gonna head to that show after.
Okay. And Bastet, what are you doing at this moment? It is dark. It is bright. It is sort of warm out. What are you doing on this summer's eve? That's a gooch.
Bastet has been still searching for a certain merchant to speak with, and so the day has ended without finding any new information. So she'll head to a local bar, I'm guessing Cream,
Okay.
or maybe bar hop a bit and then find her way to Cream.
Okay.
After a long day's search.
Yeah, during your bar hopping, you hear some people mention they're going to go see a show at Cream, and you're like, sure.
Exactly.
I'll go with you.
I'm relatively new in town as well, but that's what I'm up to.
So now we will all, we are all at Cream, where Aster is backstage getting ready to perform. They are applying makeup. They are putting wigs on. They are getting their outfit ready to go, talking to the band to make sure the band knows what song to play for them to perform, all the good things that would happen at a drag show. The way Cream works is generally during the day. It is a cafe and coffee house where you can get things like tea and coffee and some like sparkling kind of water drinks. And in the evening, you can still get tea and coffee and other non-alcoholic drinks. But in the evening, they do start selling alcoholic drinks. If you wanted something very simple, not like a complicated cocktail, if you wanted a beer, a glass of wine, something like that, they can just pour out of a bottle, essentially. So you can go up to the counter. You can also get tea, you could get coffee, you could get basically anything you would like to drink. They do not serve food in the evenings. So yeah, whatever you guys. So we have Finland and Jakad are together as not as a romantic couple, but they're there at as a duo. I'll say that. And then you come in kind of by yourself, sort of with a group of people, Bastet, as you just kind of followed a group of people here from another bar. And then about very close to the show starting, in running comes Whistler, a little bit out of breath, as she has just run across the Brambleberry park, because she's like, I gotta get to the show. So you're here, there's a band, and it's kind of just playing what I like to call the D&D equivalent of lo-fi hip-hop. Just kind of like, there's just like low strings and like a low flute, and somebody doing like just low drum beats. And Aster, you were backstage. What would anybody like to do while you are in this cafe turned bar atmosphere?
Whistler is gonna try to get a drink.
Okay.
I want to make it a running gag that just she only has so many alcoholic words to use and just can never quite get what she actually wants. So
Okay.
she'll compare it like beer, but really she just wants like a whiskey and just like this is fine.
Okay, so you go out. There's actually a halfling behind the bar, and they're like, yeah, what can I get you?
So she points to like a bottle of whiskey, but says beer.
And the halfling goes, this? That's the
Yes.
That's okay. And they pour, and then rocks or no, just ice, yes or no, ice. Okay, and then they pour you like a little, just like a regular glass, like, and they hand the whiskey to you. They're like, that would be 1 gold, 5 silver.
Just hand over 2 gold and just kind of walk away.
Thank you. Anybody else? Who's next? Anybody want anything? Yes, you, young lady with the braids.
I was wondering if I could get some grass tea.
Oh, I don't know if we have that. Let me look at our tea selection. And they pull out a box and start kind of like shuffling through. And they're like, we've got chamomile, we've got brambleberry, we've got
that's fruit.
Right.
None of this is grass.
We've got a there's a maroon leaf tea. I don't know what that is.
You know what? Ale. I'll have.
Gotcha. Yeah, ale I can do. They put the tea back down, pour a glass of ale, mug, hand it over to you. That's 7 silver.
Wait, hold on. Finland, and I'm still sitting at the table that we've grabbed, and you can hear my voice. It's just kind of booming across the cafe. Could you grab me a glass of wine, please? Red wine, please.
All right. Unfortunately, Tanya has frozen. Oh, there she is. You have unfrozen.
Oh, wait.
So, yeah.
I can hear you again. Yay.
Yeah. You were being yelled at by Jakad to get you a glass of red wine.
Oh, and a glass of red wine.
Exactly, right. And this halfling pours a glass of wine, hands it over to you. Altogether, that's going to be 1 gold, 2 silver.
Okay. Here you go.
Takes the money, pockets it. Okay, anybody else? You are new. You with the black fur. Do you want anything? I haven't seen you here before.
Do you have any corn grain based alcohol?
Oh, let's see. Oh, we have a very limited selection. It's like cider, some beer, some wine, like a whiskey and a bourbon, and like we've got some rice wine. That's the only kind of grain based that we've got.
Well, the rice wine sounds decent.
Okay, yeah,
I'll take that.
Some rice wine, gives it to you in a little glass. That's a gold for the rice wine.
I hand her a gold.
Okay, she takes it. Thank you very much. And then somebody comes on stage. It is a very, very lovely half elf. Comes on stage, has this huge blonde wig on, and their boobs look fantastic. They are up to about here, and the dress that they have on is cinched, it's tight, and they come on stage and they go, "Hello, everybody, welcome to Cream. I'm Cirque du Soleil. I will be your MC for the evening. We have a lovely lineup of performers. I'm so glad to see you all here." And they do the wave, this wave. How's everybody doing? We have any birthdays in the house tonight? Any birthdays? Anniversaries? Bachelor parties? Just anybody just having a good time? Woo!
Yes!
Everybody just starts like, yeah, there's like clapping. It's like, all right. So they go, they're like, our first performer is, and then the first performer comes out. They're a newer queen, so they're kind of so the new performer comes out, and you can kind of see that she's like, Cirque will be like, this is her second time performing. Everybody give it up for you. This is the cat's meow. Woo! Meow, meow. And then like Cirque goes off stage and the cat's meow comes on, and it is a human, but they're in like a cat suit with like a fake tail and like little ears. And they perform a very lively, fun, kind of jiggish song that lasts about 3 minutes. And there's some really fun choreography. They apparently are very limber, and everybody's like, woo! At the end, everybody's like clapping and like applauding.
I look over at Jakad and I'm like, could you explain why they're dressed up like a cat? Is that a thing people like?
I assume so. Like, My mom said everyone's hot, so like, what? This must be something that like humans do, but and then Jack flips a silver at the stage for a tip.
Yeah. The cat's meow comes over and like sweeps it up and gives you a little wink and then like goes off stage. There's two more performers in between the cat's meow and Aster, and then Cirque comes back on stage and is like, "Hello, everybody. Tonight you are in for a treat, my good friends. Tonight performing on this stage we have the one, the only, the incomparable Aster Dauntless." Everybody's like starts cheering, yeah. And Aster, what are you doing? A ballad? What kind of performance are you doing in this particular night?
I think what Aster will be doing this time is doing the good old fashioned lute and singing just songs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. This is the first roll. Make a performance check.
Yeah.
First roll of the campaign.
12.
Okay. It was above a 10, so you're good to go. So Aster comes out. Aster's probably like a newer song. Did you write it yourself? So it's maybe one of the first few times you've performed it. But everybody, and is it an upbeat song? Are we doing
It's a song you could dance to for sure.
Yeah.
That's what Aster likes.
You see some people like doing like a reel where there's like two partnered groups and they're back and forth and like moving all around. People are like clapping along and stamping their feet and like snapping and getting into it. People are moving and dancing around, nodding their heads. After you finish and kind of do your flourish bow, you get woo, and you get all totaled 5 gold and 5 silver in tips.
Nice.
And there are 2 more performers after this. One of them is a little bit more of an acrobat. She doesn't do a lot of singing, but just very, very limber and does some flips, and it's very interesting and cool to watch. And the last person that comes on is actually somebody who they use fire in their act. So they are a drag queen, and the song is they are a drag king, and the song is an old song that a lot of people know about, like dragon and dragon breath. And when the dragon breath portion comes on, they go and they breathe. They do like the actual like fire breathing like kind of thing, and everybody like freaks out because you're like, fire inside, whew, dangerous. And it's a kind of a thrill, and they get claps and all this stuff. And then the show is over. Cirque comes on, and they're like, "We hope you stay with us. The band's going to keep playing. You lovely people stay around. Some of the performers are going to come out. They're going to talk to you. It's going to be a lovely time. Don't forget, we've got a lovely patio out back where you can sit on this beautiful summer's evening. And come back tomorrow. We'll have more fun for you. And good night." And like they bow, and everybody's like, "Yeah, the show is over." So you guys are now in Cream. Aster, you again, if you would like, you can come out and either in drag or out of drag and mingle with your fans, take like sign autographs or just talk to people and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to take a selfie when you're in a pseudo medieval world, but I'm sure somebody can like make a sketch of you with someone or their friends. I mean, like prestidigitation, I don't know. Minor image, we'll make a spell for selfies. So you guys do see some of the drag performers come out. The cat's meow. Cirque herself is walking around and talking. And you guys can go outside. You can stay inside. What would you all like to do?
Aster's gonna go out in drag and just like go up to the bar and just like sit there like kind of in the corner of the bars. Like if it's a little corner, she'll be like they'll be right there.
Okay. And the barkeep comes over, the same halfling, is like, "Hey, that was a great song. Really love it. I heard you in rehearsal today. Like, it was really, really good. Of course, your drink is on the house. What would you like to have?"
I'll just take coffee.
Coffee? Gotcha. Cream, sugar, anything?
Cream.
Okay, so they come over. They're like, "Haha, cream, that's where we are." Goes over, gets the cup of coffee, puts it in front of you with a little thing with the cream in it. And some people come up and they just kind of like touch your shoulder and go, "That was great. You were really fun." Like you get a lot of people like saying, "I really like that." And somebody's like, "Did you write that song?"
Oh yeah, I did. Yes.
That was really cool. I really liked it. It was my partner and I danced to it. It was really good. You're a really good performer.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
Yeah, it's warranted. Yeah, you're really good.
So Jack has approached the bar and it's ordering a tea for her. She got curious about that maroon leaf tea that she heard like Finn when the bartender talking about, and so definitely also ordering for Finn because it's her round to pick up. And but she also like she's nearby Aster, and she's just like, your dress, you did such a good job with this dress. Did you make it yourself?
A friend of mine, we made it together.
It's so pretty. I like, what materials did you use? Like, and she's like already kind of like eyeing it and knows, but this is kind of like her thing, and like she's just hyper focusing on it, and it's really cool, and she's intimidated by Aster, but she's just really happy.
Aster like looks down at the skirt of it and like lifts it up and just says like, this is one of my first dresses that I had helped making, and I actually don't remember because it's a pretty old dress. But it's still one of my favorites because it just fits so nicely. So,
Incoming cat.
This old thing.
yeah, exactly. It's like, yep.
So you guys can talk and hang out, and if anybody, if you want to go out onto the patio, stay inside. Is anybody going outside to the patio just to like relax, kind of get away from a bunch of people, or?
I will. I'm gonna head outside.
Okay.
I, as a tabaxi, am somewhat offended by the cat's meow, but I think that I could give some good input as to how they could improve their performance, and so I go up to the cat's meow and,
Yeah, it's like meow, and they're holding a tankard, and they see you, and they're like, "Oh my god, hi. Oh, I'm sorry. What? I'll let you talk."
well, there are some things you can improve upon so that your performance isn't offensive to any future feline folk or tabaxi that happen to
Oh my god, I
come
didn't.
to this bar.
Is this like fur face? Is that what we would call this? Am I? I'm sorry. This is only my second or third time performing, and I didn't know. I dressed like this for Halloween, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you, but yeah, just any input you might have into what I can do would be amazing.
Maybe we can get together sometime and discuss, a more I wouldn't say kosher, but more acceptable routine or outfit.
Oh yeah. I just as a to let you know, I work here during the days when it's a cafe. So you can come in like most mornings. I have the morning shift, so if you need a coffee or a tea, you can totally come in and I can make it for you. My name is Steva.
Stella? Okay. Stella. I mean, it's Bastet. I'm not from around here, obviously, but I do enjoy a good performance, and I'll come by sometime so we can discuss some improvements.
Oh, thank you. That would be great. Anything would be awesome. Yeah. Let me get you a drink. What are you having?
Just some of the rice wine.
Okay, and you hear her say, Hannah, can I get another rice wine for my new friend here? This is Bastet. She's gonna help me. And Hannah's like, okay. And like puts the wine, like you can tell Hannah works with Steva and is like, all right, you're like a baby, so but here you go. Yeah, there you go.
So I take the drink, seeing that she's at least not against anything that I'm saying. And so I'll take the drink and drink it and then be like, have a good night, Stella. I'll see you around.
Okay, yeah. So Finland, you said you were going outside?
Mute myself. There we go. Unmuted. It works better. Yeah, it gets a little much, and I'm still kind of new to the whole going to a cafe and seeing these really big shows. So I'm gonna head outside, get a breath of fresh air, just have some me time in the night,
Okay.
away from feathers.
I was gonna say, I think Whistler's gonna ruin that, especially the away from feathers.
Perfect.
So Finland, after the show is over, you're kind of like, you're feeling your heart rate raise a little bit. Like you normally feel this way like after you've worked out for a few hours, but you're just like, there's a lot of people. I'm gonna go outside, get some fresh air.
Like it's super fun. Like I come from a people who they do dance, but this is very different from Minotaur culture. So
yeah. So you kind of go outside, and there's a few other people outside, just kind of sitting and talking, and then right after you walk outside, almost like bumping into you, comes Whistler.
Oh,
Sorry.
hi. Sorry, I didn't see you. You blend in.
Kindle your light. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
None of this is grass.
I'm Finland.
Whistler.
I'm Finland. Whistler. It's nice to meet you, Whistler. Do you live here in Rentonhurst?
Yes.
Excellent. Where? I haven't seen you around. I'm usually over by the merchants and the fire brigade.
Temple of the Raven Queen. Graveyard.
Graveyard. Oh, you live in a graveyard?
No, the temple. Temple.
Oh, okay. You live in the temple? You live in the temple?
Yeah. Yes.
It's great. You don't say a lot. I don't say a lot either.
I don't say a lot.
I don't say a lot either.
This card starts just kind of like making bird sounds. Just kind of mimicking various sounds that she has heard. Like,
great. Did you like the show?
yes.
Yes.
Jack has now like brought out her tea and Finn's tea as well, because like she turned around and like both of them were like their table was empty, and so she figured out that they were outside, and so like shows up and it's just like yes.
Yes.
Whistler. Yes. This is my friend Jack. This is Whistler, who is some kind of bird.
I don't say a lot.
Whistler doesn't say a lot.
Hi, Whistler. I'm Jack. It's short for Jakad, and hey, that's cool. Like, not everyone talks.
I talk. A lot. Just kind of makes an exasperated sound.
I think Whistler just has a hard time talking.
That's okay.
Hard time.
Yeah.
And you two are out here having this conversation.
It can be called that.
Yeah, you're just like stumbling through this. You look up in the sky, and again, it's a near cloudless night. The stars are shining. They're beautiful. There's very little light pollution out here. That star looks brighter than it was earlier this evening. Huh.
Hey, did you guys see that?
Preserve your light?
Yeah. Does it do that a lot?
That star is even brighter and brighter.
Since I yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna notice that too. That's really
Yeah. And if you would like to,
That's brighter than I usually see on my travels.
Yeah, if you would like to, you can make a nature check.
Me.
Those of you who are outside witnessing this, you can make a nature check.
I got a nat 20 and I have a -1 for nature.
All right, so yep.
I 17 on nature.
Okay, so both of you know, there are occasional meteor showers or like what we could call like streaks in the sky or light shows or whatever they happen to be in the area that you're from, what they are called. But there's not one supposed to be scheduled this right now. They don't happen all the time. And as you notice, that bright star, it not only gets brighter, it gets closer and closer and closer.
Hey.
And you start seeing behind it, you see a trail of light coming behind it. And then you start hearing from other parts of town. People are out at other bars, people at work. You hear from down at the docks, because the docks basically never shut down. You start hearing a rumbling. It's like the entire town is coming alive with, what is that? What is that? And people start streaming out of cream. They start streaming out of bars. And everybody is just kind of looking into the sky. And you hear somebody go, what's this? Get the protectors. Go get the protectors. What's going on as this bright streak in the sky gets so close to Rendenhurst? And then it streaks down and there is a large boom, 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 boom. The land reverberates almost like an earthquake. And you see far to the north in the Emerald Weald, you see smoke coming up from the forest.
I'm gonna run to the fire brigade.
Okay.
And start grabbing people, although I'm sure they're already out in the street. But that's my instinct is to tell my coworkers.
So Bob said, and Aster, since you weren't outside, you definitely felt the shaking of the ground, and you run outside and you just see what was a flash of bright light and then smoke coming up from the Emerald Weald to the north. So Finland is running to the fire brigade. Anybody else doing anything? Yes. Jack.
Jack's running with Finland.
Okay.
Whistler's gonna head for the Emerald Protectors.
Okay. Bostet and Aster, are either of you doing anything?
I'd say Aster would be in front of Cream, trying to, like, if there's like kids and stuff, trying to like get them to feel like calm if they're like freaking out. Okay, so just trying to help kids and stuff.
So just make a general charisma check. So just roll a d20 and add your charisma modifier.
I got a 1.
Oh no.
My charisma's +4.
So that's a natural 1.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're trying, like there's some kids that were playing in the park and like that was like an evening like ball game or something, and they are freaking out, and so like you kind of run across the street, you're like, everything's gonna be okay, and you see one little girl, she's like this little gnomish girl, and she goes, I want my mom, and you try to like come over, but you have such big hair and like such a like interesting look, and there's these little girls saying, she goes, you're not my mom, and you're just trying to like calm her down. And what are you doing, Bostet?
This is something she hasn't seen before, if she's not from here, and so she starts asking, "What is that? What
you see people like,
is it?
This is unusual. We don't know. It's the world. What is going on? It's the moon, and both moons are still up in the sky. You see the Evermoon, you see the Storm Moon. So it's not like that has happened. Town is essentially in chaos at this point for people that have been outside. So the Emerald Protectors and the Fire Brigade are right next to each other. And you are correct, Finland. There are members of the Fire Brigade who are already outside, they have a cart and they have an oxen on that cart hooked up that they can take water out if they need to. And also, as you run into the Emerald Protectors, Whistler, there are people who are on duty who are members of the patrol division, are gearing up, and then they bring along a few people who are members of the nurture division because they so they can do any kind of spells that they might need to do to ease this, with water or whatever. And as you run in, Finland, to the fire brigade, the head person of the fire brigade is like, Finland, sorry, you weren't supposed to be on tonight.
I just saw the light streak and I saw smoke and I'll help any way that I can help. Just tell me.
It'll take us some time to get out there. You're faster than the rest of us because we've got this cart. Could you get out there and do a little bit of scouting for us?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Don't go by yourself. Don't forget it's night in the forest. Take precaution. Take care.
I'll take Jack.
All right. Hello, Jack.
Hey there.
Thank you for protecting us.
We're running.
Yeah, we're running.
And as you guys run outside, Whistler, you also run into the Emerald Protectors, and there's like a going, and people see you, and somebody says it to you, like, "Oh, Whistler, hi. Do you want to earn some points to get?"
Yes.
Okay. If you you can't fly, but you're fast, right? Are you fast?
Enough.
Right. Could you, we are still planning, but we got to get some people out there. We got to get people out there as soon as possible, but we have to plan. We've got people who still need to prepare spells and stuff. Could you get out there and just do a quick survey? And
Death is the natural end of life. Out.
Sounds great. Don't go by yourself. Grab people. You need more. She's young. Okay. And
maybe skid to a stop outside though if Fenlin and Jack are there and just be like,
yeah.
Going?
I have a real quick question.
Yes.
So I would have traveled with all of my stuff, but I'm not going out to the bar with all of my stuff. I dropped off my stuff somewhere. Am I staying with Finland or am I staying at the Art Collective?
Wherever you would like to.
I live above the fire brigade. I don't know if they let. Can I have friends?
Sure. At the very least, you could find a place very close to the fire brigade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if I'm allowed to stay with Finland, then I've dropped my stuff off. I'm gonna say, hey, hold up, I want to grab my sword first.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my great axe.
Yeah. So, Bostat, you see some people haul buns out of cream and run to two different buildings that are pretty close by. And Aster, you see the same thing. The half-orc lady who talked to you about your dress, you see her run to this building, and you see the Kenku that was talking to her run over here into this building. And so you guys both see these people run into those two buildings, and you can do what you would like.
Okay, so first I'm going to say that Aster goes back into Cream to the back area and just takes off their wig and changes real fast because they ain't wearing that shit to this, and then comes back out holding
fantasy Velcro,
holding their instrument, and then they go to the protectors.
Okay, so Basset, you see now coming also out of Cream someone who looks sort of familiar. They have the same facial structure, but with less big hair and less elaborate clothing. And they run into the building that the Kenku ran into.
So as the paladin, I would run to aid as best as I can. So following people that look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and you see,
I'm following as well.
You see Aster run out, and they have their instrument with them. What kind of instrument is it? Is it the lute?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
You see Aster run out with a lute and with purpose. They are running to this thing. So you're like, that person, these two buildings seem to be the place where people are running to do stuff. So you just kind of, just like following people from the bar to this place, you just follow Aster into the Emerald Protectors. And right as you get there, Aster, you and Whistler probably kind of know each other, being here for a little bit longer. It's not a huge town. It's about 5,000 people, and Whistler's come into the show a few times, and you guys have seen each other at the Emerald Protectors and stuff. So you kind of all do, if a Monty Python in front of the Emerald Protectors. As Whistler is coming out of the Emerald Protectors, Finland and Jack are coming from the Fire Brigade, and like Aster and Bastet are running up trying to get into the Emerald Protectors, and you guys all kind of see each other. And even if you don't know everybody, you've all seen each other at the very least tonight. You all recognize each other. Yeah. And you're all kind of there, and you're like, are you,
Protector!
We go.
We go.
We go. Let's go.
How can I help? How can I help? Okay,
Yeah.
we're going. Okay.
So you guys you're like, I guess I'm just gonna hang out with these 4 people. And you guys take off to the north into the forest. Now, Whistler and Aster would be the people who are most familiar with this forest. Finland, you're a little bit familiar. You're from the other side of the river, but it's the same type of forest. That's a temperate forest. There's oaks and pines and cypress, and so the cypress is obviously closer to the river. So you know that actually, you know what? Everybody make a nature check if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to make a nature check, just to see if you can determine how far in the fire it is.
I got a 15.
Okay.
5.
I got an artificial 20.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
I'm not from here, so like this is like I'm just like, you know, I'm used to different type of landscape, so I'm like, I have no idea how far this is. Like,
yeah,
I'm just following like a deer in the headlights. Like,
yeah.
What?
Correction, I got an 18. I messed up my modifier.
Okay, so if you got a 15 or higher on your nature check, you know that this thing landed 4 or 5 miles into the forest. So it's going to be a trek to get there. Now, of course, the forest it's called the Emerald Weald, and it is one of, like I said, one of the lifebloods of Rendenhurst and this whole area, really. The Emerald Protectors goes in to do what is essentially plant husbandry. Oh, weird. Okay. Protecting, it's called the Emerald Protectors because you protect the Emerald Weald. And so this part of the forest is not a very hard trek. When people come in to do camping and stuff like that, they generally stay within the, right on the edge of the forest to about like 4 or 5 miles. And the more advanced campers and adventurers or, trekkers or whatever have you, there's a few people, there's like some caves in the forest that people come like spelunking, essentially. They go caving. So you know that even though it's dark, the Evermoon is very high in the sky, so it's pretty easy to see. And I believe almost all of you have dark vision. Most of you have dark vision. So, Bostet, 3 out of the 5 of you have dark vision, because Bostet and Whistler do not have dark vision. But you guys, Bostet and Whistler, you could have like a lantern or something. Like it's just an average adventuring thing. So you could pull out a lantern. And who is leading the way into the forest? Who is the point person who is going, I know exactly where this is. I'm leading us there.
I feel like Whistler tried, but with that 5 is going the wrong way.
I'll go.
I guess I'll take.
I mean, we can go together. I guess we can both lead.
So the elves are leading.
Yeah. Well, we can see, and I'm fast. I'm like real fast. So you tell me where I'm going.
So,
I got you.
With Aster's help, Aster is more familiar with this particular forest, but you are a forest elf, Finland. You can roll a survival check with advantage to guide everybody through the forest.
$16.
Okay. You get your bearings. Aster kind of goes, don't go this direction, and you kind of, using the sort of soft firelight that you can see, and you still see the smoke coming off the tree line. You're like, all right, and you just go in there. So you have to slow down for everybody else because your speed is 5. You can move 5 feet faster than everybody else per round. So you kind of like go and then you look back and then they
right.
You go. And you're just like, come on!
Oh my gosh, guys!
Sorry, these shoes are kind of made for walking, but not really.
Cut the heels off. Cut the heels off. Now they're practical.
Yeah, Finland, you're used to running with minotaurs who are either like your speed or faster. So you're used to kind of being generally one of the slower people. And it's odd for you to be like in front and being like.
They call me Swift Hoof for a reason.
Yeah. So you haul buns to this area. At this point, it's going to take, and the forest is sort of thick, and you have to, dodge things. You have to run over logs, and by the time you get to this area, the sun is starting to rise in the sky because of the thickness of the forest. Because it was, at the time you guys left the bar, it was probably like 1 or 2 in the morning. So it's going to take about 3 hours to get there. Even though it's only 5 miles, you are walking in a thick forest with underbrush and all that stuff. So you come to a clearing, and I'm going to move you there now. A clearing in the forest. And now that everybody is on roll 20, I can add everybody's tokens and give you permission to use them.
Space Rock.
Controlled by... I'm assuming Squirrel Army is Alyssa. No. Let's see.
I will be right back.
Who is this? This is Whistler. Okay. Controlled by Whistler. Haha. Controlled by. There we go. There we go. And then I'll get this one to Annika, Esther, and then to Finland. Okay, can everybody move their tokens on roll 20? Okay.
Maybe. Oops. No, mine's not showing up.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm just going to re-put your token out there. All right,
Okay.
you see yourself.
I don't see like I see like the crater.
At the bottom, go to the very bottom.
Oh, hang on. I think everybody's little thing is covering it.
There it is.
Yeah, you can make the thing at the bottom. You can make those smaller. You can kind of minimize them in the
Yep.
But yeah, it's down there at the bottom. So this is what you guys come across. There is in this crater, as the sun is setting, sun is rising to the east, there is a large rock made of gray, looks like stone, about the size of a large ox. There is a crater. There are burning trees all around. There are obviously rocks from the earth, like the actual dirt here. And there are also small little bits of this rock that have broken off in and around the crater. The fires have actually mostly stopped at this point. Any of the trees that were in this area have stopped, and they're just kind of smoldering. And it doesn't look like there was a lot of them. It looks like there was a large flash of fire, and it died out very, very quickly. Hi, Segnet.
I'm going to kind of real quick, or as quick as I can, kind of go around the perimeter and kind of yelling in, like, is everybody okay? Was anybody nearby? Does anybody need help? Is anybody hurt?
Oh no.
And Jack is taking up Finland's. Nearly like in lockstep with Finland, because like they're just like, hey, I want to make sure that if something does jump out at us, we've got each other's back on this one.
You're together. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What is everybody else doing?
Aster is gonna go up kind of close, like around here, kind of close to like see over the crater and like kind of see all of the damage that it did.
Okay, Finland, did you make that check?
Oh, sorry, I missed it. What am I checking?
Just a general charisma check. Basically to see how well you can project.
Oh.
Okay.
14.
You don't hear anything except for like the rustling of leaves, and you do see, unfortunately, there are some small carcasses of like squirrels and like woodland, small, like, no large, no deer or anything, but the smaller creatures that couldn't get out of the way. There are a few birds, like an owl or two, a chipmunk, stuff like that. But you do see a lot of tracks where animals have run from this place after this impact of this meteor. Aster, you can either make a nature or an arcana check as you were looking into this crater.
Got a 10.
Whichever one is higher.
I mean, they're both the same, so 10.
Okay. Okay. You're looking in, and this stone, from the distance that you are, it's still a little. I mean, you have dark vision. The stone, the most that you can tell, it looks almost like something you've seen before, but you can't quite put your finger on it. It's not like a regular rock, but you can't quite. You're like, I've seen it before. I've seen something like this. You just can't figure out what it is. Bostet and Whistler, what are you two doing?
I am looking for a little piece of whatever this rock is to pick it up and.
Okay, make an investigation check to see how well you can find a tiny rock.
That's artificial 20. I like that.
Yeah. The sun is coming up, so you're like, oh, thank Melora, the sun. So you can like see a little better now. And you see a small, and it's not, you would expect most rocks, at least after a time, kind of have to round their edges. This is almost like a shard. It's black, and it's actually fairly porous. And as you reach down and try to pick it up, it is very hot. It is very hot. If you actually pick it up, you would take fire damage from the heat of this little sliver of whatever this is.
So I go to pick it up, and I'm like, it goes, ah!
Yeah.
And so I maybe spit on it to cool it off, but.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear Bastet like,
Everything okay back there?
Whistler, who is big and brave and just not that smart, is just gonna jump right down into the crater.
Okay. As the closer and closer you get to this large rock, the warmer it is. Not only because of the fire that was around here, but it seems like the rock itself may be a little bit warm. So you're starting, I don't know if birds sweat, but you're not really however Kinku feel heat and try to give off heat as to make themselves feel better, that is what you are feeling right now.
Got it.
I'm Googling if birds sweat now.
I really want to know.
I want to know.
As Whistler jumps into the crater, Aster just goes like, and then just does not go down.
Kindling.
Yeah.
Birds don't have sweat glands. They evaporate water from the surface of their lungs and air sacs. Birds are weird, guys. Birds are just real weird.
Whistler, you're breathing a little heavier.
Dungeons and Dragons and science.
In the description, I'd be like, do you want to learn a quick fact about birds? Birds.
Please do.
You will learn in this episode some drag knowledge and some quick facts about birds.
Perfect.
You come for the Dungeons and Dragons, you come for the ephemera. Okay, so Whistler has jumped down. After a few minutes of you just spitting, Bostet, and you actually pour a little bit of water out on it, the little shard does cool down enough for you to touch.
Okay. After that, I'll pick it up and inspect it a bit.
Make
And,
another investigation check, because this is you actually picking it up and like looking at it. And
14.
okay, because of the area that you're from originally, this looks similar to lava rock. It is the closest you can think of what this type of rock resembles. The fact that it's very black, ashen, and very porous. And if you say lava rock out loud, Aster, you go, oh, lava rock, that's what I was thinking.
Lava rock. I'm confused though, because like on my way here, I didn't see any like obvious volcanoes, I guess, due to the path that I came. And I guess I hear Aster say lava rock, and I'm like, are there volcanoes nearby?
Aster, you know that there are no volcanoes nearby.
No. Or 9.
Okay.
Finland and Jack, are you guys still walking around the crater?
I'm guessing we've made it around by now.
Yeah, these larger rocks are rocks that have like come out of the crater. They are not the black ones, but some of these smaller bits right here are the shards from this large rock in the center here.
How
Are they
deep
also
is
hot?
the crater? Like,
the crater is about 20 to 30 feet deep, like in the very deepest part. Like up here, you know, it's a lot. It slopes and it doesn't go super long. But in the deepest part, it's about 20 to 30 feet deep.
okay, Aster's gonna like slowly like try to like skid their way like closer to where Whistler is.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Luckily, right now you're in your summer form, because the closer and closer you get to this rock, the hotter and hotter the temperature around you gets.
Can we, from where we are, can we see that they've kind of gone down in there?
Yeah, you look over to the edge of the crater and you don't see Whistler or Aster, and then you look down and there are Whistler and Aster starting to like walk towards this large stone.
Can I get close enough to poke it with a javelin?
Yeah, go for it.
That is what Whistler does.
While Whistler approaches with the javelin, I did grab my longbow and quiver, and so I just out of an abundance of caution, go ahead and I knock the arrow into the quiver, and I'm not aiming it at anything, but it's at the ready.
Right. Okay. So Whistler, make an attack roll with javelin.
Great. Nope, that failed. Ooh, that's a 13.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is a rock, so it's sturdy, but it's also very large, so it's very easy to poke. You can't really miss. But you didn't hit it hard enough to really do anything. So you just it's like tap, tap, tap.
Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Do you need help?
Is just a rock.
It's a lot of damage for just a rock.
I mean, a lot of it's gone now. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're 13. It just like and then when you pull the tip of if you touch the metal tip of your javelin, it's a little warm.
Very hot rock.
I can see that. Thank you, Whistler, for telling me.
Feathery thumbs up.
Thanks.
I'm just gonna try and hit it hard. Actually, I'm gonna put the javelin away and try and hit it with my battle axe, because I figure, I mean, if it's just a rock, we should probably break it down and clear it.
Make another attack roll.
Because a battle axe is absolutely the tool for the job. It's a 15 this time.
Okay. You're like, okay, put the javelin up. Battle axe comes out, two-handed. You walk up to it and just and this time, I mean, it's gonna hit because you're that close to it. And a few shards do like kind of go flying past you. And you're very close to the rock now. It is extraordinarily warm.
Heads up.
Did the battle axe stick inside the rock, or did it bounce off?
Yeah, she boom, some shards came off, and she pulled the battle axe back, just like, yeah.
We're just gonna turn around and shrug.
And Aster
It's
like
a rock.
pats Whistler on the shoulder, is like, you did the best you could, and kind of like leads Whistler like away from the crater for now.
No tea, no shade.
No lemonade.
Just walks off.
About this time, you see two more people, and Aster and Whistler, you would recognize them. This is Lucara. She is a Goliath, and you see Keita, a halfling. Both come sort of running up, and they are members. They are actually, Lucara is the head of the patrol division of the Emerald Protectors, and Keita is the head of the nurture division of the Emerald Protectors. And they come running, and they go, "Oh, good, Whistler." You hear Keita say, "Whistler, Aster, and other various friends. Hello, I'm Keita. What have you found here? What is going on?"
Phil, it's a lava rock.
A lava
Kindle
rock.
your fire.
Lucara just goes, "Huh. Let me see." And she just leaps and jumps down into the crater.
It's very hot.
And she's like, oh, you see her like kind of wiping as soon as she does that. And about like 20 minutes after they arrive, comes an ox cart full of like water. An ox cart full of barrels of water, just trudging through the forest. And you see the dwarven fire captain is like, Fenlin lass.
Yeah.
Did you find anything? Is there anybody out here?
It's a hot rock.
A what?
A hot rock.
We could make a sauna.
We've better
Ooh.
be
It's
hot.
a rock that's hot.
All right. And so you see Kita, and she has not jumped down. Lucara does. She does the Aster, like kind of slide down on her butt and like just gets there. And she, you see them both kind of looking at it. You see Lucara takes out a hand axe and does the Whistler and like just smacks at it.
Lucara
I can
is
see where you got it from.
Idol. Just gonna put that out there now.
And you see Keita comes up, and she does a spell, and you see like her eyes glow for a minute and her hands glow for a minute, and she just goes, "Huh, interesting." She looks up and she goes, Evard, could we get some water down here? I can create some, but not as much as you brought. And he goes, all right, I'll get you some water down there. And you see the ox cart, dum, 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 and the few people that are riding on it. And you hear Fenlin, Fenlin's friend, what was it, Jack?
What's up?
You look like a strong lass. Come over here, let us get these barrels of water down.
Yep.
Yep. Grab some water.
I need
No,
you both.
I put away my weapons.
Okay. I need you both. If you can either both make strength checks, or one of you can make a strength check with advantage if you're helping each other, like helping get the same barrel down. So whichever one you would like to do.
I bet we could each do it ourselves. Actually.
Oh yeah, I'm very sure we'll.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
8.
All right. Jack like shoulder more of the weight than she is. So luckily, well, I will say Jack is not used to dealing with these like odd water kegs that have this like hose at the end and like a pressure thing, so you can like create pressure in the keg to like, and then you add the hose to it. It's like a weird keg situation. So Jack really isn't quite used to handling these, but you're like 3 weeks at the brigade. You kind of get the scut work, which means loading and unloading and filling up the barrels of water. So you are very used to taking the water off of the cart, putting the water back on the cart, taking the water off of the cart. Like, you're very used to that job. So you just kind of, and Jack just kind of like holds the back a little bit, puts a finger on, it's like, yeah, we're helping.
This looked easier than it is.
They're very awkward. It's you're doing fine. You're
So
fine.
you see everybody else, the other people, and anybody else that would like to can come help get. They have like 5 or 6 big kegs of water that have these odd like pumps on them and these long hoses. And you see, what did I call the dwarf?
Errol?
Something.
Everard?
Evard, that's right, Evard. He gets over there and he's pumping the things, and you do know this, Finland, so you start doing the same thing where you're pumping and it creates pressure, and then if you open a valve on the little hose and it'll start spraying onto. So all around this rock, you have 4 or 5 big giant kegs of water just spraying all over, and steam. And the steam, actually, you know what? Make a perception check if you would like to.
We're getting a sauna now, guys.
Yes, you are.
21.
16.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
8.
We know that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And what do we got, Bosset?
A what check?
Perception.
21.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are perceiving. You are some perceiving mofos up in here. You notice, you guys know steam. I mean, it's just something you see, general steam, when it comes off, it kind of is like a white or gray or whatever. The steam coming off of this is like a light purple, and there's like a blue over here. The steam coming off of this comes off in a myriad of sort of like pale and jewel-toned colors. And you see Keita do the same thing, going, huh. And you pull out a little like notebook and start like in a little like pad, and she just starts writing stuff down. She's like, huh.
Can someone who knows more magic than me figure out what's going on here?
Because that doesn't seem normal, and I'm not keen on sticking around if it's gonna keep that up.
And you see, I have to make sure that this person can do this spell. Give me a second. We'll have to make sure it's something that's available to a cleric of the nature variety.
Whistler is just slightly entranced.
Ooh, pretty smoke.
Literally that.
Aster is having the time of their life because, like, this is
You're
like a
trying
show
to
in
figure out-
itself.
Right? Try to figure out how to do this.
How to
and
do it
create-
myself, yeah.
How do we need a hot rock?
Get a good chunk of this space rock and then heat it up and then have someone behind you throwing water on it. It'll be great. Not putting this at all.
Yeah, she does have the spell. Aha!
Yay!
Yeah. So I was like making sure that I'm pretty sure that nature clerics can do stone shake, but I'm making sure. And she comes up and she kind of just like puts her hands up, not close to it, and she puts her hands up, and you guys see this stone that was kind of jagged and porous turn into like she just kind of like smooths it out a little bit. Like a very small area right in front of her.
I look at Jack and I say, you don't see that every day.
Or every month.
Or ever. Ever.
And she goes, well, it is stone, that's for sure. If it wasn't stone, I couldn't have cast that spell. But I've never seen anything like this, and I've seen a lot of rocks, and this is bizarre. Maybe can we take it back to town? Is that something we could do? Lucar goes, you have enough strong backs? Yeah, you could take it back to town.
I'll take that as we've been voluntold.
As soon as strength is said, Aster like puts their arms up and says nope, and turns around and starts walking away. Yeah, Aster's just like and like starts walking off.
Like
Finland's just gonna shrug and just assume it's her.
yeah, and Jack's right there with you, like. And Jack also like is a little bit embarrassed by how poorly they handled the water situation earlier. So they're like, okay, no, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna help.
And at this point, like more and more people, both from the fire brigade and from the Emerald Protectors, are showing up. And so there is another cart that shows up, and it has more like different supplies in it. They have brought things like axes and rope and stuff like that because you never know what you're going to need in a forest fire. So you see, they're like,
throw down the rope.
Yeah. So Lucara is like, rope, bring us rope. And the ropes come down, and there's several hours of wrapping of this thing. The water, Kita has cast some control, create water and get more water on there, and she'll kind of use her meld into stone and like stone shape to like secure the ropes in there and like around it. She only has like 2 stone shape spells left though, so she tries to get it like in key positions. You see Evar go, well, I guess we can leave the carts here and come back for them and use the oxen to help pull this out of this crater here. All right, let's do that. And like you see him start unhooking the carts and going, and like he takes the carts and like puts them over here like out of the way. Like he just like puts them out of the way, and he's like, carts. We'll come back for those. And the oxen are hitched up to the ropes. And anybody who would like to can help by rolling an athletics check.
Can I help by playing music for everyone?
Would you like to inspire someone?
Who will I inspire? I will inspire Jack, since I watched Jack try lift up that thing.
Is that a D6?
Thank you. Yes, it is a D6.
So you have a D6 if you would like to use it for this, Jack.
Yes.
And I'm rolling for the other people involved. Okay.
25.
Give me a second because this is going to be a group check, so I need to write answers. I need to write numbers down. So give me just a second on this.
So Jack, I'd like play you a song of like inspiration on lifting stuff.
So I roll the D20 and the D6?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I got 25 from Finland.
Right? Let's hope we don't get into a fight, because all of my good rolls are going into moving this rock.
Okay. Anybody else helping? Give me your numbers.
13 for Whistler.
Okay.
22.
Okay. Are you helping,
How a
boss?
bard works. That's how a bard works, everyone.
I tried.
This is why I
But I
didn't
got
even
an
try.
8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you didn't roll the worst because one of these people rolled a 7. So let me roll for the rest of the people that are helping. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do
This is
some
why I didn't even try.
Okay, where's my phone? I do. So yeah, you guys all have, you all basically grab a rope or several ropes, and you all pull in the same direction.
Maths. We're having a maths break.
Yeah, sorry about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We had a science break. Now it's a maths
Maths
break.
break.
The
Pretty soon it'll be
everything
government.
was a 14. So you guys, oh wait, I forgot to roll for the oxes. Oh yeah, they crush it. So that's gonna bring it up. So the oxen, like, yeah, the oxen adding their, like, I don't know what oxen strength is, but it's really fucking huge. So so you guys start pulling. The oxen are doing their job. Let's see. Ox strength is like they are a beast of burden, so they get like the ability to like pull as like a special thing. So they, here you go, and this thing starts moving, and you guys are pulling and pulling and pulling, and the hard part is getting it out of the crater because you have to go up. It is angled, so you're not like going up like a sheer cliff face. So you guys pull the crater out, and then everybody's kind of tired, and then they're like, well,
I've got a kind of silly question.
uh-huh.
Like, this rock is pretty big. Is it too big for the path back to town?
That's what we're just now going to have to deal with. Huh. So the rock is basically like up here. And Lucara's like, well, you know, none of us are really want to chop any trees down or move trees out of the way. Do you think maybe we could just leave the rock here and bring people out here if we need to look at it? And Kita's just kind of like, I guess. I can go talk to some more of the nurturers and see if anybody might have a spell we can use to, like, I think some people might have levitate. I don't know. I'll have to go check. I don't have it. It's not in my wheelhouse, but I think some of the people might have something that could help us move this via magical means. I did cast a spell on it, and but I want to try to keep casting spells on the rock that made rainbow steam to a minimum if we can. So if we can figure out a way to get this. Oh, she looks at Evard. She goes, Evard, isn't there a way we can put it on like a large cart or cart situ? And Evard's like, you could probably find somebody to do that for you. Put a few carts together, or maybe like a sled type of situation. Put it on like a large like pallet and just drag it. That
We
might
can get some logs and roll it on the logs.
And Evard goes,
Dragons and logistics.
yeah. And Evard looks. He goes, what's that you said last? Something about logs?
Yeah, so where I'm from, we do large stone building, and the way we move those is by rolling them across logs, since they're...
He goes, could you explain that process to us, lass? And I assume you take some time and explain the moving one log in front of the other log.
Welcome to the physics portion. Of
And then the log.
Factoids.
And you probably like, and you have to make sure they're smooth logs. They can't have like lots of
Right, but we could use the logs that are, that were sort of pushed down already and burned slightly. Those should work well.
Yeah.
You just put them in order of each other. Obviously, we'll need some ropes to...
Well, the ropes are
keep
still
it
around. But
going.
yeah, the ropes are still around the big giant rock.
Right.
And once the rock has been removed, you guys see, after you've pulled the rock out, I can't put it on this map because I did not create this map. The wonderful people at, what's it called? The wonderful person who runs Go Adventure Maps. I just became a patron of them today. Actually, all of YAAS did because I used the YAAS email. Makes some wonderful maps because some of us can't draw. So we rely on other people, and I looked up in their maps, and I was like, they look really good. And I looked up crater and forest, and this came up, and I said, that's the one. So thank you, Go Adventure Maps. You're helping me out. Not a sponsor. We don't have sponsors. Anyway.
One might even say, YAAS.
Yes. So you see the crater where the rock landed, the soil itself, the dirt and earth is black. Like it's literal scorched earth in this area. Not in the crater around, but the actual place where the rock had landed and has been sitting for hours. That like dirt really doesn't burn. This dirt burned.
I'm gonna poke it.
If you want to get closer, you can.
Like, yeah, I want to take a look at that because that looks very wrong to me. And
Right.
Make an investigation check.
I'm gonna scoop some up and take it to Evard.
Okay.
Ooh, on that
Two.
one
Does this
again,
seem
minus
normal
one.
to you? Minus one.
What was that for Jack?
2.
Okay.
She's not the smartest, okay?
You're like that. The one thing I will give you, Jack, you look at it and it looks kind of like ash. That at the very least, you're like, okay. For you, Whistler, you kind of start poking at it with your javelin, the trusty javelin poking.
It works.
This is 100% Whistler's method of investigation. You just poke it with a javelin. And if poking with a javelin doesn't work, you hit it with an axe. That's just
Come
worked
through!
well, trusty javelin poke. As you poke, the javelin kind of starts making a clink, like a sound, like metal against glass.
Stab. Is it like hot? Can I kind of brush it away, or is it too hot to
Yeah,
touch?
you can kind of maneuver it if you use your wings and kind of flap a little bit. So you can't fly, but you do have the ability to just like use them as hands.
Do you need help?
Yes.
Well, do you want me to try and pick it up? Do you want me to move? What do you need?
Hot metal. Very weird.
Are there still any of the big old things of water around?
The barrels, yeah, there's some empty barrels.
Do any of them still have just like a little bit of water left in them?
Yeah, there's like a smaller bit if you want to like tip it over or something.
Yeah, I want to tip it over because I'm not interested in like burning my hands on hot metal. Thanks.
Same. Yep.
So you take the barrel and you kind of tip it, and you get Whistler to help you, and you tip it over. The last dregs of water kind of come out, and the dirt it acts like ash, like you would expect, like dirt, especially this dirt in this area. It's very fertile. Obviously, the forest is beautiful and it's great, and it would just soak up this water. It's almost like water repellent a little bit, and it takes a little while for the water to soak in, and it kind of slides off a little bit once it does that. And once that happens, you actually see what has happened. The area underneath this has turned into glass. So there is a large sort of
There was sand there.
rock that if you removed all of the burnt sand out of the way, there would be what is essentially a large plate of glass underneath this.
Would this this isn't a sandy locale.
No, it's not.
This seems like it would be pretty abnormal for the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whistler just kind of looks at Jack and is just like, just making a very confused face, which might be hard to read with a beak, but you know.
Is that? I mean, Jack has very, very limited knowledge about, like, she grew up in an agrarian society, so she knows that this isn't normal, but
Right.
she doesn't know. She's not familiar with how glass is made. It's not a textile. She doesn't know. She's like, is that supposed to be there?
Basta hears the clink and is like, wait, what? Because she comes from a place where sand is common, and when there are storms and the lightning hits, or we make glass with fire, that's what happens. And so she's surprised to hear that sound from where the crater.
Bossette, would you like to make an investigation check?
Yes. Well, it's only a 9, so maybe I don't know.
Okay. You're a little bit far away for right now, and you do see the sheen. The sun is, it's fairly, the sun is up. You see the sheen of it, so it looks like glass, which is very, very unusual. And you're like, I don't know, but you're still kind of further away. You haven't gotten close enough to really look. If anybody else would like to make another investigation check.
Is the glass in chunks, or is it one large sheet of glass?
One large sheet. Like a large pane of glass, about the size of, I would say, a garage door.
Okay.
And if
Is it a blob or is it actually a square?
No, it's not a square. It's just amorphous, kind of blobby. No, but size-wise, general, yeah. If anybody else wants to go up, if you have not already made an investigation check on this thing, you can make an investigation check.
I'm going to assume that I've shown my handful of weird dirt to Evard, and he's like,
yeah, he's essentially like the like fire chief and like the arson investigator, like all the fire stuff. He knows what's up. He goes, huh. He pulls out he goes to the cart on the other side and gets like a linen sack and like opens up. He's like, scoop it in here, lass. Put it in here.
okay.
And you just kind of toss the dirt. All right.
Here.
And he takes it. He's like, go here, take the sack and go put some more in here. Go put more in here. We'll take it back and we'll do some investigating when we get back to the firehouse.
Well, okay. I turn around to go get more, and I see these people like making sandcastles or whatever they're doing.
So yeah,
Finn, is this supposed to be here? Like, Jack is just still really confused.
Is what supposed to be here?
The glass?
I go down. Oh.
So you can make an investigation check if you would like to, Finland, and ask her if you want to join them. Since the strength portion of this evening is done, if you would like to join them in the looking at the pane of glass, you're more than welcome to.
Well, Aster doesn't want to go back in the crater.
Okay.
22.
Okay, so you're like, fine.
I love this D20.
Is that your Finland die?
Yeah.
So you get down and you have like, you use something, I assume you have probably like a shovel or something, or like you grab a hand axe and just start scooping.
I have my great axe.
Yeah,
I think it'll do.
I'm gonna hand over my hand axe because like
It's
I
a
feel
little
like
easier.
yeah.
Oh.
Got it.
You're using a snow shovel to put things in. Like,
Yeah,
you need a trowel. Is essentially what Jack hands you. It's like, here you go.
I'm not gonna so when I'm packing tea and I grab the wrong scoop and inevitably it goes everywhere. So I imagine that's what happens. Just
Everywhere. And then as you come closer and you start scooping this out of the way and you start looking at the glass and the light coming down and you kind of look at it, it's not clear glass. It's dark, near blackish gray glass.
So I've seen this happen like once. It was during a thunderstorm and lightning hit the sand on the beach bed by the river and it turned into a big arc of glass, but that was clear. And this is really dark and I don't get it.
Whistler just like points to the ground around it and just like dirt. Kind of like maybe it's not sand, it's dirt.
I don't think so because it's kind of one uniform color as opposed to being blotchy. But I'm not an expert. Maybe we should take a piece up.
You hear Kita say, did you find something down there?
Yeah.
Not blotchy.
What? Did you say? I'm sorry?
Not blotchy.
Not blotchy. Look at the card.
Glass. We found glass.
Glass? You found... Oh, Melora, let me get back down there. She comes trotting back down, and she's kind of a tubbier halfling. Maybe she's a halfling. So she's let's say she's kind of thick and juicy. Let's say that. She gets herself down there, and she kind of picks in. She goes, could you help me lift this?
Is it still hot?
Is it still big?
It is. It's the size of a garage door. So it's going to take several of you to like lift it up.
Whistler just immediately goes to one side.
Maybe.
And if you would like, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Lucara
I'm helping move, yeah.
Yeah, and Lucara comes down. So you all each get on like kind of like north, south, east, west kind of thing and go 1, 2, 3. Oh, and the 4 of you, I'm not going to make you roll for it because it is a pane of glass. And it's very thin. It's not a thick glass. It's extraordinarily thin. It's only about 2 to 3 centimeters thick. It is very, very thin, but it is all one piece. But it is a kind of like an amoeba blob shape. And she goes, could you lift it higher, higher? And she walks underneath it. And she starts to like looking like up through it. And she sees the sun. And she's like, it's very thick. And the sun doesn't even really shine through it. This is very odd. And Lucara's just like, can we put it down now? Like, she's like, oh, yes, sorry. And she runs out and like, kind of gets
like trying to hold it and like twist the head under to look underneath.
Your beak, Whistler, like, clink, clink, like it starts clinking out.
That is going to be a sound that she will make from now on.
Yeah.
Clink, clink.
Yep.
And she kind of comes up and she's like, oh, yes, I'm sorry. Put it back down. And she's like, this whole circumstance is just, I've been following Melora for close to 100 years and I've never seen anything like this. Okay, I'm gonna need help with this. We'll have to go back in. Maybe we'll just leave this glass here for now. And we'll come back with more people. Thank you all for lifting and helping get this rock out of this. Oh dear. We'll have to bring more nurturers out to kind of. Well, first we have to. She just is like talking to herself about like the process that they're gonna have to go to like. She's like starts arguing with herself a little bit, and she looks at Lucara and she goes, "Do we fill in? Do you think we should fill in the hole? Because I mean, it's a hole, which is a natural thing." And Lucara's like, you can tell Lucara is like has heard this before. Like, at what point does nature become unnatural, and what part do you like fix it? And Lucara's like, let's just go back to the protectors. We can talk about it. And she just starts walking back to town. She's just like, and like running after her is Kita going, wait, no, but listen. And she's just like, trailing after her with her little tiny halfling legs. And Lucara is a Goliath, so she's just like longer strides, and Kita's running after. Everard is trying to figure out exactly what Bastet told him, and some of the other fire brigade are like rolling logs over, and they take their axes and like cut off some of the limbs and stuff. And so if you would like to help Bastet get the thing back, make an intelligence check. Okay, so you have enough about this process to not only like know it, but to explain it to other people. Because it's one thing to know how to do something, it's a completely other thing to explain it to someone else so that they could do the thing. So you kind of explain, you're like, and then you put the log here, and it rolls and rolls and rolls, and once that log is done, and you explain, and they're like, he's like, yeah, it's gonna take a while. We'll try to get there as soon as we can. So people start, and it's gonna take. He's like, Fenlin, why don't you go ahead with your Fen Jack? Just tell people back at the brigade what's happened out here. Tell them it's gonna take us a while. We might not be back till after this night. Actually, we don't want to knock down too many trees if we don't have to. So we're gonna try to navigate around things. But if you can, tell somebody from the brigade or from the Emerald Protectors to like. Maybe, we can hunt for some food, but some food would be nice if somebody could just kind of meet us back out here with some provisions or something. That would be great. That would be great. Thank you. But you and your friend, thank you for all of your service. You're doing a great job, Finland. You've only been working with us with a great time, but I like your enthusiasm, lass.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's great. Yeah. And he's like, but you and your friends, also the rest of you, hello, Whistler, hello. And he looks at you, Aster, and he kind of squints and goes, you look familiar, you do.
Aster.
I get that a lot.
You look.
Aster. Aster. Their name is Aster.
All right. Okay, and he just like walks off, and he's like, and he just kind of looks at you, and it's like he's not putting the two and two together.
That's fine.
Yeah. And he like things happen, and they start going. So you guys can walk on your way back to the Brennanhurst if you would like to, unless you would like to stay out in the woods for any reason.
I've been given a directive to go tell people and get sandwiches. That's what I plan to do. He didn't say sandwiches. I just assume sandwiches.
Okay. Everybody likes a sandwich.
Do I need to stay and continue to assist?
No, you have explained well enough with that role that you have to stick with them and go, okay, and now you do this. Okay. It should be pretty easy because you do the same thing over and over again.
And they're using the ox, right, to help, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're getting, you explain, you're like, you kind of need some wedges every once in a while, and there's ropes, and you just kind of give the general, like, how you do the thing, and you explain it well enough. And Everett's a very, he's a capable person, capable dwarf. He's a fire captain, essentially. So he has knowledge of, like, wood and stone and how it reacts to heat and doing all that stuff. So he's enough of a, enough of an intelligent being to get what you're putting down. So you guys can continue along out back to Rendenhurst if you would like to.
Yeah, I think this time let's take it at a slightly more casual pace.
Yes, I head on back with the rest of everyone.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like trying to kick some of the stones out of the way if I think that they might be a problem with the logs. Just like as we walk past, it's slowing
I
me down.
do pick up a rock and attempt to keep it. Because color smoke.
You're like, oh, if I put water on this, it will make the thing, and it will do the thing, and we will have greatness.
Yep. So I take like 2 or 3 of the shards with me.
Actually, Whistler will also find just a small piece, just like keepsake.
It's a rock.
Yeah.
It's a rock.
It's a rock that occasionally turns shiny. Attention caught.
It is a rock that does some really weird stuff, and I don't know that I want to be collecting that.
Yeah, Finland's like, I don't really want to have anything to do with this. I'm good. You weirdos can do the rest. You guys can pick up rocks if you want to.
And I do.
Yeah. All right.
Like maybe if and Jack's just kind of shooting the shit at this point, and it's like maybe if you find someone who can bore holes into it, like you can tie it onto one of your costumes or something, one of your dresses.
Oh yeah, you guys are totally having like fabrication talk right now. Walking back into town, and Aster, you're like, yeah, that could work.
But more of like my idea for it was like having it as the entrance. So you like get them to do all the smoke, and then you just come out. And you're just like, I am here.
Come through.
Ooh.
Yeah, and yeah, Whistler, you're like, yeah, come through. Let me get a map set up. So you guys can talk amongst yourselves for a bit as I get another map set up. So what else are you talking about? Is anybody asking like Bostet any questions about herself? Because she is a brand new person.
I was about to say I'm having a pee break, but I would like to make it clear that I'm having a real life pee break and I'm not being in the middle of the woods.
Okay. So Finland pees.
Actually, so we learned each other's names on the way over here, I'm guessing.
Yes. For those of you who did not know each other's names, you know names. Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm asking about like, because it came up during the drag show, like about the whole like dressing up in a cat suit sort of thing. Like, is that normal?
After I'm gonna leave it to you.
She's new. So we've never done that before. I was not a part of the planning process for her character. That was not me. So yeah. It's not something I have seen before in all of my time doing this.
Okay.
So
I don't know much about it. Like I spend time around humans, but that's just like the first time that I've seen anything like that.
No idea as well. She just likes watching the show and then wanted to do it too. So, yeah.
All right. So you folks, ooh, that's not what I meant to do. You folks continue walking towards Rendenhurst. And as you walk, you come to more of the forest. This is just another random map that I found on the internet. You will see it a lot. So this isn't just like a desecrated forest. It's just, a forest map that I found. So
it's still on the...
I'm just telling you I'm letting you know not to get your expectations like super high up. So here we go.
Nice.
And you guys are on to the next forest map. As you guys are walking back down, these are just kind of like logs and trees. Trees die, they fall down. It's a part of nature. This isn't like, you're just walking back. And as you get closer and closer to Rindenhurst, the trees are sparser and sparser it's not like grassland and then a wall of trees. Like, it's like trees start happening, as opposed to just like, and then it's like
A new biome.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, the trees are getting sparser and sparser and shorter as you're getting closer and closer to Rindenhurst. Anybody who would like to can make a perception check.
Yeah.
Oh, 6.
Artificial 20.
Okay.
13.
21.
Okay. After.
8.
Okay. And Finland.
13.
Okay. So, Bostet and Jack, you see ahead of you, jumping out from another part of the forest ahead of you, 2 large wolf-like creatures that have sort of humanoid-looking faces on them as they jump out and run in front of where you are walking.
Ruh-roh.
Anybody who would like to can either make a nature or an arcana check.
7.
13.
10.
4.
Oh, who had the highest number? I think it was Whistler.
13, yeah.
Whistler, also being a little bit, being a religious person, you do know, you've heard of these before, but you've never seen one. They're called Barghests.
Ooh.
They are, at one point, they are born as just kind of regular goblins, but they turn into these creatures for some reason. But that's pretty much all you know about them. You haven't seen them. You haven't come into contact with them. You haven't fought one. But 2 of them have just jumped in front of you and your new party. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh.
The next time we pick up, we are going to start with initiative. Right off the bat. Because we're running 2 hours, and I'm trying to keep it at 2 hours so we can keep this, kind of thing involved. Okay, that's the first episode. I'm going to give it a little tiny outro. That's the first episode of your average adventuring show.
Yes!
Playing with us.
Yes!
Yes! You will see people come in. People are playing as their schedule allows. People will come in, they will come out. We might have somebody come in, do a guest star real quick. I'm trying to make this game as open to as many people as possible. So, these players that we already know if they have friends and family that are interested in coming in, to let me know, and we'll have a rotating kind of crew of people coming in. So, yes. Thank you if you have watching the whole near 2 hours of your average adventuring show. I just started a Facebook group for us. I will put it in the description. I think I made everybody in here admins. I did it on my phone, so I'll have to go back and I did it on the computer and double make sure. So there'll be a Facebook page. We have a Twitter. I'll put the link to that underneath. And I will also ask these lovely players here if they have anything that they would like to share with us in the description, any social medias or anything. And also, as an outro, I know we have people who have things that they like to make and sell. If you would like to, just kind of promote yourself a little bit, why not? It's our show. We can do what we want.
Network.
If anybody wants to, Amelie, if you have anything you want to talk about. Oh, and we need to talk about charities as well, real quick. So I'll let anybody do the promotions, and then I'll go through a list of some of the charities that we in this group support. So we can talk about if you would like to donate to us. We have something maybe coming up. But if you can't donate to us, there are a few charities, and I'll put the links to those in there as well. So Annika, Tanya, and if anybody else has anything they would like to promote very quickly, please go ahead.
Sure. I own a tea blending shop. I make unique loose leaf tea blends, all inspired by various geekery, but largely role-playing games generally, and it is called Tabletop Teas, and you can find them at tabletopteas.com. You can also find me on Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram as Tabletop Teapot.
Okay. And Annika?
Oh, my page for everything is just aspiring Annika, and right now I am making stickers. I have a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons bugs, like they're bugs as like
Cute.
different classes and stuff. I also have a bunch of Critical Role stuff, and I make D20 stickers of different gender identities and sexualities.
Nice.
So yeah.
Again, this crew. That's what we're all about. Amelie, Alyssa, Ari, anybody have anything you want to promote or talk about?
I don't make things.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't make things either.
I don't make things, but Black Lives Matter.
Yes, Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna go. Like, I was like, do you ever seen the things like Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter, like abolish ICE, like all of these things? You
Shall we
will
run down the list?
let's run down the list because that's this group right here. If you just got to the end of the stream and just now realizing it's about us, if you didn't see the inclusive flag behind me, the rainbow flag behind Annika, and the non-binary flag behind, so the rainbow flag behind Amelie, the rainbow pillow, and the non-binary flag, all apparent in these things. We are a queer AF group, and there are allies, of course, as well. Yeah, wave, Tanya. Yeah, Tanya gets a wave. I do, Sarah, I'm going to promote myself very quickly. I do make things. I make dice bags. They are fun. They are great. I have made one for Tanya. It's just, I haven't finished it yet. And I made one for Annika's mom. So Annika's mom has one of mine, and Ari has one, and Alyssa has one.
I got a weird little bag that she made me as well, which is really cool.
A little zipper bag. I use those to put pencils in, is what I use mine for. Is like a pencil case. Yeah.
They're very
So,
cute.
I have an Etsy. It's called Scarlet Star Creations. It's the same thing for my Facebook page, Scarlet Star Creations. Again, that link will go in the description. So if you need a dice bag or a tote bag or something, let me know. There's another, so now we're going to talk about charities. I'll put a link to some of the charities that this crew does support. Some of the ones I'm just going to list off of our charities links in our Discord that we were like all adding to. So we have ASAN, which is the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. There is the, let's see, GLSEN. Let's see, what is it? OLTT, which the website is latinatransTexas.org. It is the organization.
OLTT is a trans-specific homeless shelter here in Houston. It is the only one of its type in Texas, I believe. And they also do a lot of really great work with immigration. They help trans immigrants get their gender marker changed on their IDs. They do so much great work, and like I said, it's the only of its type here in the state, I believe.
Awesome. Speaking of, we've got also the Transgender Law Center. Is an organization, races, talking about like abolish ICE and stuff like that. So getting people, no person is illegal. I would like to throw that out there. So getting people out of detention centers and uniting families and getting people, paperwork and getting them out of whatever sort of situation that they've come from. I will, again, one of my personal favorites is the Southern Poverty Law Center, because it is such a large organization that does so much work all over the country, fighting against hate groups and radicalized organizations. And there's just a lot. So there's another one that I'm a fan of. It's called ALGO. ALGO is an organization for Black and Latinx queer people here in Austin. So it's specific for, like I said, Black and Latinx people for doing like art collectives and doing advocacy and helping with things like legal matters and stuff like that. So we will put those links down in the bottom as well. And yes, Ari.
Austin Justice Coalition is one I forgot to add earlier.
Okay.
Big on them. They are they're doing great work here in Austin.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, basically all of the organizations like Black Lives Matter and the organizations that are taking donations for the protesters who are going through legal troubles and getting them legal help. And there's another organization that I'm a big fan of because I know people that are in it, and it's the Austin Street Medics. And I know there's also things like that all over the country. I have personally donated things like water and Band-Aids and just general things that they've asked for. They will take money if you would like, but they also have a wish list of stuff that they would like. So I know a lot of street medics and street medic organizations are doing things like that around the country, especially in larger cities, Portland, Chicago, here in Austin, Houston, Philadelphia, New York, LA, Miami, places like that. So if you're in any of those places, look at your local queer charities and look at your local charities for Black and brown people and any other marginalized group, places like domestic violence shelters and rape crisis networks and stuff like that. So
one of those is, excuse me, I'm sorry. One of those is the AFIA Center, which is, yep. That I was looking at the same list. Some related ones are like here in Houston, we have the Clinic Access Support Network, which drives people to and from their abortions. And also the Lilith Fund and Jane's Due Process, also really all great.
And also, I'm just also going to throw it out here. You saw my cat several times walking back and forth. You might have seen Alyssa's dog. I know you didn't see Tanya's dog because Tanya's dog is apparently asleep at her feet. And you didn't see Annika's cat because Annika kicked her cat out of her room and their room. And
no, he's asleep now.
Oh, he's asleep. Okay.
Yeah,
and then,
he's not bugging me anymore.
Emily has some cats at their place, and Ari has a rabbit. So you can tell we're all animal lovers. So also think about giving to your local animal charity, whatever that might be of choice. If it's a rabbit rescue or the ASPCA or here in Austin Pets Alive or Amanda Pet, whatever the thing may be.
Adopt, don't shop.
Yeah, adopt, don't shop. Yeah.
Houston Sheltie Sanctuary. That's the one I've worked with for about 20 years now.
Oh, wow. That's great. I got my cat at the Humane Society. That's where I got her. So we are big supporters of all kinds of charities that foster progressive causes here in the United States and abroad. I also give to some like Amnesty International and places like that. So this should be going up. This should be up on Wednesday the 5th. We are going to play again in 2 weeks. We do this every 2 weeks. And the next episode will come up on August the 19th. I'm not going to say what time because I don't know what time, but that I can give you a day. I'm not going to give you a time. I will give you a day. Look forward to that happening at a time on that day. And you're welcome for the wonderfully technically accurate content that I have given you on this. So everybody, I always ask this after almost every game that I DM. Did everybody have a good time?
Yes, of course.
To me is the most important that my players have a good time. I'm glad, does everybody enjoy this world and what's going on? And like, I hope I didn't like make it too like obtuse where you guys are like, I don't know. Like,
it's so funny. So I had been like thinking about like a voice for Aster, and I had it, and then we like sat down and did this, and I was like, what was it again? And now I don't. I have to like try. I'm gonna have to like remember it next time.
NPC's name. I was like, what did I call him? Not 2 seconds ago.
I accidentally confused two characters the other night playing a completely different game, and so to make sure I didn't mess it up again, I made myself a little sticky note.
Same. I got notes.
The people in this group play a lot of RPGs because I personally play in different games with 3 of these people. Some of them are in multiple of those games. So it's like we play a lot of RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons together. So other thing that I was going to say, just very, very quick, I know we're like going off on this stuff, but I also want to say something is games are for everyone.
Yes, they are.
You do not have to be a certain gender orientation, sexual orientation, race, class, whatever. Games are for everyone. RPGs, board games, card games, whatever your thing may be. And support indie game makers. There are a lot of great indie RPGs out here. We are playing D&D, which is kind of like the big grand poobah of them. But there are a lot of amazing indie RPGs out there. And go on itch and look at them, or just follow indie game makers on Twitter. But yeah, gaming is for everybody. Tanya can tell you, in one of the games that I DM, I have a 9-year-old playing with us, and she's great because she's got an imagination. And so you can start. I've DM'd for a 6-year-old before. I've also DM'd my mother, who is in her 60s, just started playing D&D a few years ago. So there is no like real age gap. If you have an imagination, you can do this. If you have an imagination and like a pen and access to a character sheet, you can do this. So
Make your own character sheet. It's fine.
on a piece of paper. It's great. There's lots of apps and stuff out there if you can grab that. So don't let anybody try to gatekeep you out of the hobby of RPGs. And if Dungeons and Dragons isn't the RPG for you, there's a bunch of other amazing RPGs out there that are less combat oriented, or that take place in space, or that are in like 1920 San Francisco or whatever. So there's probably there's a Jane Austen RPG, which Ari actually knows more about.
Shout out to Good Society. It's so good.
Yeah. So
there's an RPG where you play doggies.
Yes, there is an RPG where you play dogs. There's one where you play cats. It's Pugmire and Monarchies of Mal. So there are games out there for everybody and everything you may possibly want. Yeah, so games are for everyone. Everyone should be able to play if that's something you want to do. Thank you for sticking around with us and hopefully enjoying this adventure that we are starting on, and this adventure that the characters went on. Thank you to my players for being amazing and using amazing mute discretion themselves when they weren't talking. It made my life as a DM so much easier, so I could just be like listening to the one person that was talking. Oh my god, it was great. And look forward to seeing the rest of, well, I can't see you, but you can see us. Look forward to you guys watching more and interacting with you guys on the internet. And have a lovely rest of your day, whatever time you're watching this. And we are going to sign off with the inaugural episode of YAAS. So, bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Ah! See you in the heart.